Hey, all right. When you go back and we had a chance to go back and evaluate the film and break it down thoroughly and found a lot of positives. Still found some things that we've got to improve upon, but the positives were our defense was much improved from week 2. To me, the score wasn't indicative of how well they played, especially the first 3 quarters. Considering one of the touchdowns was an offensive pick 6, and then we gave them a short field 3 times. I think 2 of their drives started at one of the drives started at the 17, and one of their drives started at the 24, and then they returned an interception for a touchdown. So our defense held them to minus 22 yards rushing in the first half, and I think anytime you hold an SEC team to minus 22 yards rushing in the first half, you've done a little better in your rush defense. And but nevertheless, we felt like some of the changes we made were positive, and we're going to continue moving in that direction. I thought we had a lot of guys stand out defensively. Kayvon Perry, I think he had 8 or 9 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. And then, as you know, we moved Demarion Mitchell in outside linebacker. He came in, I think he had 8 or 9 tackles, maybe a pass breakup, was all over the field. He really looked way more comfortable there, made more plays, and that was great to see. When we got Simeon in, I thought he played really well. Simeon's going to play even more this week. And so Corey Turner, minus a play or 2, played pretty good in the back end. He helped us coming up. I thought our tackling was tremendously better, and that was great to see considering we was going against some really good skill people. So that was some big pluses defensively. I think it's something to build on for sure moving forward. I thought they wore us down a little bit in the fourth quarter because we did not play very many people. We kept our guys, our main guys in the game most of the game, and we won a lot of reps. And I thought they wore us down their depth a little bit late. But nevertheless, our kids, I thought, battled hard through the first 3 quarters until the game was somewhat decided. But I thought going into halftime with a 21-14 lead, I felt like our kids had an opportunity. And then we came back the second half, drive the ball, get the ball after the opening kickoff, take it from the 25 all the way to the 35, to plus 35. And, man, if we got a chance to score right there, maybe come away with points, we'd be up 2 scores and we'd throw an interception. And so getting to that, it's hard to go on the road to beat anybody, much less an SEC team on the road in front of 98,000 and turn the ball over 5 times. And so can't turn the ball over. We've been really good at that. That was the disappointing thing I guess I was most disappointed with because we've always done a phenomenal job of taking care of the ball. So that showed its ugly head Saturday. I thought Jordan early in the game, especially the first half, was really sharp, minus a mistake or 2. He completed his first 20 out of 27 passes for almost 200 yards in the first half. Took a lot of big hits, delivered the ball. He even had some nice runs on that drive before the half, and then even caught a 19-yard pass. So, man, the guy did everything that we could ask him to do. And then he sealed the run, made a nice pass on the touchdown with 11 seconds to go in the game to get a 7. And so I thought he played awfully well. I didn't think he was the same player in the second half with the knee injury that he endured there earlier. He had a hard time pushing off. His balls were sailing on him, which you could tell. And so hopefully we can get him back healthy this week, and he can get a full recovery. We got to get Boris Lee back. As well as I thought we improved defensively, we did it with minus Boris Lee. I think he only had maybe 9 or 11 snaps the entire game. And so that'll allow those young guys to really play against the top quality offensive line and get some quality reps. So as Boris Lee comes back, I think we can still even improve even more moving forward. I thought Sam Gerasi did a great job with the punt game. Going into that game, we was really worried about Christian Kirk, number 3, that dangerous punt returner, and he had great hang time all day long with his punts. Coverage units did a good job, and we somewhat took that return game away from him. And I think he averaged 43 yards a punt. He was our special teams player of the week. It was great to see Steve Yartig come back. He did not kick a ball until pregame warm-up the entire week. So the first ball he kicked was in pregame, and after he kicked a couple, he said, "Coach, I think I can go." But we gave Calvin the start since he had practiced all week, and he got his first extra point, which is good to see. and handle the kickoff duties, and then gradually we'll get Stevie back, and hopefully we'll have him back full speed for this week. I thought Trey Ragas was a factor in that football game. The guy ran strong, he ran physical. I think their team or their defenders, when the game was over, felt like they played a really good running back. He was physical, ran strong. I think came away with 93 yards rushing. I thought our offensive line gave Jordan some decent time. I thought at times they looked good in protection. Had a couple of breakdowns, but overall thought they held their own pretty good. Second half offensively, though, we did not have many answers. They did a couple of things and some adjustments, and then obviously the passing game and Jordan's mobility was really limited, and so that did affect us a little bit there in the second half. But moving forward, though, we got another tough task. We got a Monroe team coming to town. Coach Viator will have ULM ready to play this week. We've got a lot of respect for Coach Viator and his program and what he's done, and you know, the guy's won wherever he's been. You know, at McNeese, highly successful. He's gone there and done a great job of turning that program around. They're going to be well coached. A lot of the coaches we're very familiar with. As you know, Gunner's dad, Tim Leger, is on the staff there. He does a great job, and so they'll be well prepared, well coached football team when they come in here on Saturday for the conference opener for both teams. And so we'll need to have a great week of practice and get some guys back from injury moving forward to get ready for an outstanding, hopefully, game Saturday in front of a great crowd here at Cajun Field. Any questions?
What is the status of Justin Middleton and Travis Crawford for this week?
Yeah, Travis Crawford probably still is not going to be available. Justin Middleton, we hope, will be. So that will be a big plus. We need to get some depth back. And when Travis comes back, that will give us really some quality depth and some guys in the back end. But Corey Turner really made a difference in tackling, getting to the ball. You can tell he's just settling back in at a new position. But he's played it before, but just getting back. But hopefully we can get those guys back. Raheem Malone, we'll find out more today. I expect him to play. I was kiddingly saw him in the hallway, and I said, "Hey, Raheem, how you doing?" I said, "I hear you're going to be back week 8, week 9. And he got a chuckle out of that. He said, "Coach, I'm going to be back for practice tomorrow." So that was good to see. And he's determined. So I expect him to play. He's in a good place right now. He's working hard, making plays for us, as well as the wide receivers in the passing game. So who's that? We'll find out. He did not practice last night on a Sunday night practice. Jordan did not practice. We held him out. He probably could have gone, but we held him out because that would give him 2 days of recovery. Yesterday, now they're off today, come back tomorrow. So he'll get 2.5 days. We expect him to play, hoping that we can get we're going to get him checked out today thoroughly. Hopefully everything, we have not get a response back yet because that's happening early this afternoon. But hopefully everything is going to come back negative, and he'll get a full recovery and get him back. Because when he was healthy, when he was really on fire, was when he was before he got hurt, and he was throwing the ball well, ran the ball well. Just you could tell it took a little bit out of him once he got hurt. Elbow. Yeah. He's struggling right now with his elbow a little bit. He went in, fought through it a little bit, tried to go. But we decided to just take him out. Let's try to get him back, especially with an open date coming up here after this game. And he may play this week. Don't know how much, but they feel like sooner or later, though, we should have him back.
Coach, a 24-point loss is hard to categorize as a game that got away. But do you feel like this is a game that just got away? It's just the one that got away?
Well, and especially when you're up, 7 at halftime, and then you still at the end of the third quarter, I think it's 31-21. I mean, we're right there in the ball game, and so we just didn't have enough firepower late to match them. And the turnovers, if you go back and look, if you take away the 5 turnovers, it's a different football game. But that was the tell of the tape. You can't turn the ball over, not on the road, and not certainly against a team like that. So, but our kids left there with confidence. It was not they left there with confidence that they could compete with those guys, and I thought they competed well with them for quite a while. And they've got some outstanding players, and that was a very intimidating place. That was a great college football venue, to say the least. That was a great experience for our kids, but I know they walked out of there with a lot of confidence, knowing that they really feel like they've got a good football team. And I think the defense got a little shot in the arm, and it felt like that they were getting back the way they played at a certain level like last year. Not there yet, but I think they took a positive step forward.
You talked about Simeon
I thought he came in, played well.
Okay, so is that the best game you think he's played?
Absolutely. He was in. Not only was he in good position, but when he was in position, he made plays, broke a couple pass plays up. He's going to get way more playing time this week.
And what does his reemergence do to the rest of the defense? Allow you to do some other things?
Well, that's why I was able to move Demarion Mitchell inside. And, moving Demarion Mitchell inside to the slash, he had 9 tackles, and that's what he played last year for 13 games. And so he looked way more comfortable. Demarion Mitchell was way more active, and that was great to see because our defense looked completely different.
Coach, with the changes on defense, was it that more guys knew what they were doing and felt more comfortable in their roles, or it just made the tackling better? What was the big thing that it produced that made it look better?
Probably a little bit of everything you just said. I think one is Corey Turner's been at safety before. Demarion Mitchell was at the slash and he's got 13 games under his belt, and he's more of an aggressive player too. And he just, I think, is more at home right there off the edge. But it allows him to play man-to-man coverage also without having to go nickel and things like that because he can cover being a former corner. So he can cover at that position and go man, or he can do his normal role. But that allowed us to, I felt like, get some more tacklers on the field with Corey Turner. He's a very good tackler, and he tackled well in the back end. And I just think as a team, we had really worked on that, emphasized it, and like I told you, we practiced live in practice, tackled live in practice, and continued to work it, and it showed. Normally you get what you emphasize, and we tried to make a huge emphasis of that, and we did tackle much better.
Are you going to tackle live this week?
We're going to tackle live again. We will tomorrow on our Tuesdays. We're going to tackle, and if we can continue tackling like we did, we're going to be fine on defense.
Coach, Monroe's 2 opponents didn't throw for that many yards, but they ran for a lot of yards. Does that have to do with the strengths of the opposing offense, or is it something they're doing in the past?
No, I think a little bit about what they do offensively. I think Southern Miss this year is not a team that's going to throw it around as much as they did last year with the other quarterback they had. They're going to run the ball a little bit more, and he's a pretty good runner too. And same thing maybe with Memphis, but they've got a solid defense now. They're going to be very sound, for sure.
You mentioned, I think that you took what the defense gave you, like they were stacking the box. Did you do that when you were going?
Say that again.
You said that they prevented you from running the football, but you were 4 and 5 wide. So
Who was that?
A&M.
A&M. I don't remember saying they stacked the box, but when they go man coverage, you can bring more people in the box. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, if you're zone, you got more people out of the box, you can go man and bring more people in the box. But they did a nice job in the second half, but we didn't complete passes. And obviously the turnovers were critical too there in the second half.
Coach, what is the timetable if you have one for Crawford?
I don't. I really don't. I would say Boris Lee sooner than Travis.
Coach, can you describe the atmosphere in the locker room at halftime? You go up 21-14.
Yeah.
Must have been elation, or was it kind of what you expected?
No, I think it was business. It was a business attitude, and that's the thing we tried to, we want them to come in, don't use up all your energy cheering and fire it up at halftime. Let's come in, let's talk about what we did, what do we need to do to get better, and what we need to, adjustments to make. And the kids came in with a really good attitude, obviously wanting to go back to the second half and try to finish this thing out. And we came out the second half, marched it all the way down the field. We get down to their end, we got a chance maybe to go up a field goal or a touchdown, and then we had the interception. And then from that point on, you could tell the momentum in the stadium swung. We had all the momentum going to the locker room with that last second score. Then after we drive down, throw the interception, you could feel the energy in the stadium sort of turn a little bit. And then when they scored after that turnover, 4 of the turnovers led to 28 points. And so if we take away 4 of those, obviously a different game. But you could feel the energy swing, and that we hung in there, tried to find some answers, but we couldn't. We just couldn't connect the dots in the passing game.
Did you feel that swing on the sidelines?
Oh, you can feel 98,000. Oh yeah, you can feel it vibrating. So you can definitely feel that energy. It was pretty incredible, no question.
Coach, is Trey Ragas doing sort of what you were hoping he'd do at this point?
Yeah, Trey, and we mentioned it. I'm not surprised at all because Trey Ragas has wreaked havoc, on our guys in the scout team. He's just last year he's a bowling ball, he's wherever you want to call it. He is hard to tackle. He is one tough guy, and he breaks tackles. His yards after contact are quite a few, and he always is going to fall forward. That push he got on the goal line to score, along with him and his teammates, that was one of the moments when you said, you know what, we got something here. We got something here with some guys that would compete, because we lined up right there and pushed it in against an SEC team. And it just showed our guys at that certain play wanted it really bad. And to see them once we scored, the jubilation and the way they were pumped, you let me know that we got some guys who supported to them, and we got some tough guys, and they're working on improving. And I just see a really a great opportunity for these guys.
You're going from Southland to AAC to SEC. Now to the Sun Belt. How do you avoid having a little bit of letdown playing, against A&M to ULM?
Well, it's not like if we were 3-0, I'd be worried about maybe a little bit of a letdown. But we're not in position to where we shouldn't have any worry about a letdown. We need to have a let up if there's a certain term for anything, because we're trying to get back into the win column. And so knowing the rival with ULM, knowing the series, knowing the importance of this game, an in-state game, first conference game, next home game, everything, it's an important game. And so our kids after the game, they were mad now. They were mad in the locker room. They weren't pouting. They were mad because they felt like, we sort of had a big fish on the hook right there in the first half, and we didn't get it in the boat. And give them credit also, because they've got some outstanding players and good coaches.
Coach, you used to play in ULM at the end of the season. But at the beginning of the season, does that have a different effect? Absolutely does. I mentioned that to the team last night. You better believe it. Our first couple of years here, we played them earlier in the year. The year we got the onside kick and scored 14 in the last minute and a half, that was earlier in the year. The last couple of years, we played them later in the season. At that certain point, they were not in the race for the conference at that moment. Now, everybody's 0-0 rolling in here. First conference game, so I can guarantee you that changes the dynamic of this game. Neither team is playing for pride. Both teams are playing to start the year off with their first win in the Sun Belt Conference early in the conference play. So it's it'll bring more than just if this was late in the season. How did, I guess Andre Nunez took a lot of the reps last night with Jordan out. How did he?
Look good. Yeah, Andre throws the ball extremely well. And if needed, I have no doubt that he'll will not be ready and be prepared.
Any thought of going to Andre?
Go ahead.
Any thought of going to Andre anytime Saturday with Jordan? And then
Yeah. We talked about it on the headsets and talked to Jordan. Jordan just, said, Coach, I want to get it. I've got it. I can do it. And like I said, he fought through it. Give him credit. And the thing he showed, we talked about as a staff, the kid has shown good ability. He's shown he can run, he can throw. The other day, he showed some toughness. Tried to play when he was injured, showed toughness, fought through it, and wanted to finish it. And to me, that even showed a little more maturity, and it just continues to show his growth. Okay. Go ahead.
Coach, 5 turnovers, not usually an accident when you turn over 5 times. Do you think something was exposed, or was the team just trying to do too much?
Well, no, 3 of them with interceptions, and one was a busted route, wrong route. One actually was a play that we sent in to be reviewed. We'll get it back saying that they made a blown call. Their linebacker clapped his hands, and Cole snapped the ball while Jordan wasn't even looking. So they snapped the ball to Jordan. He catches it and just rolls to the right and tries to throw it to a back in the flats, and the guy that clapped picked it off and ran it back for a touch. Can't simulate the snap count. But nevertheless, it still counts in the record book. Can't just throw it away right there in that situation. But the turnovers, we got to squeeze the ball. Now Trey Ragas and all the running backs had no issues, But Jordan, we got to work on his ball security. He's been really good at it up to Saturday, and he had some tough guys trying to really strip that ball out, and they got a couple of them out. One of them, I thought they was going to overturn it. With the review, I sort of thought knee was down, but obviously he must not have been since they overturned it and said it was a turnover. But he's got to improve in that area. He knows that, and I have no doubt that he won't.
What happened on 3rd and 36?
That's a clinical answer of never safeties always deeper than the deepest, wider than the widest. And in that situation, that just went to show a safety has not played a whole lot. First game at safety, and letting a guy get behind him. It wasn't just a corner, it was cover 2. So that was the safety's ball, not the corners. And so he should have been over the top. And so, that was sort of we talked about going into that game. Before we went into the game, we didn't think we was going to turn over 5. So our big coaching point to the players, can't give that type of team any layups. Well, that would be considered a layup. 3rd and 36, deep ball behind your head, and they get a quick score. Now, obviously, we came back and answered and tied it up 7-7. But, man, when we made them go the distance, we played pretty good. But I think, learning experience from Corey, tough one to learn, tough experience. But definitely, I think he got the point, and he'll be much better moving forward.
When Travis gets fully healthy, will you have to make a decision there, maybe play Corey somewhere else?
No, at that point when he does come back, we'll just have to evaluate how well Corey is playing. If he's playing awfully well and playing winning football, then it may have to be a rotation or things like that. If you don't feel like he's playing well enough winning football, Travis may get a shot to come back. Travis will play, though. Travis is one of our seniors, one of our leaders. Travis Crawford will play again. But how much Corey plays will determine on how well he plays in the next few weeks while Travis is out.
Coach, was there a player or two that really stood out as far as competing athletically against an SEC team?
Well, I'll give you one of them, Keenan Barnes, 12 catches, 100 and some odd yards. He didn't only just look the part out there. He fit in out there. He's long, athletic, got great hands. I thought Kayvon Perry wreaked havoc on their D-line. He was in the backfield most of the night, did a nice job. 4 tackles for losses, and then Trey Ragas. And we had a lot of guys. I don't think, any of our guys were intimidated. They got outstanding players, don't get me wrong. And they beat us soundly there in the 4th quarter. But our players, I thought, hung in there and battled them toe-to-toe physically.
Coach, I know you said, I know you take one game at a time.
Yeah.
You always leave the game behind. But, you say that they go out confident because they were able to compete with an SEC team. They also go out mad because they were on the hook. Should ULM be a little scared of you guys coming in with that anger?
No, I know. I doubt. I'm sure they're in the same boat. I'm sure they're mad 'cause they want to get their season going like we want to get ours going and get back in conference play, get off a whole new season now. It's a brand new season. Conference play begins, and so they've got an outstanding team, and I'm sure they're using this past week's game as motivation too, because they played really well against Southern Miss. They had opportunities to win that game. And they did a lot of good things offensively, defensively, and they've got good players. So they'll come in here ready to play.
Long kick return, was that not get it over far enough? The numbers thing, a coverage breakdown?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. We didn't quite squeeze it off enough. Kick like to have been a little more left. We just got out of our lanes a little bit. Typically, we're a deep right team with Stevie. With Calvin, he's a little more comfortable going left, and so we just got to do a little better job. After that one, we tried to be a little more conservative, obviously, and did a little better job the rest of the night. But still, that's one area that we got to improve upon. So we gave the defense, our defense, a bad situation, just like the turnovers, and gave them a short field. And so, if we would have made them go the distance, I really feel like our defense we even would have done better. And our defense did come away with a couple of big stops. They held them to a missed field goal. They stopped the field goal fake attempt, and so they came away with 2 big stops down in the red zone throughout that game. Also, when not even counting when we gave them great field position to begin with.